Do you often feel like your emotion goes up and down, like jumping on a trampoline? If you're struggling to raise your vibration permanently, that's because what you need is not a trampoline. What you need is a staircase. It's fun jumping on a trampoline, it's fun going up and then come down, but no matter how high you jump, eventually you will come back down. If you want to stay at high vibration permanently, what you need is to build a staircase. What you need is a step-by-step ascent to the top, so that whenever you climb up the stairs, you stay at that vibration level. You still have a solid base underneath you to support you and so that you don't fall back down so easily. To build a staircase, there are two things that you need to know: the emotional set point and the emotional skill. Let me illustrate this with a diagram. So here is the emotional guidance skill. It's a list of 22 common emotional states that is created by Abraham Hicks. It's listed in the order from the highest vibration to the lowest vibration. Number 1 to number 7 is where the positive vibration lies. When you are in this range, you feel happy, joyful, and satisfied with your life. Number 8 to number 22 is where the negative vibration is. Negative here doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just that these emotions are heavier and they have more resistance in this range. So for majority of us, our vibes tends to range from number 12, disappointment, to number 8, boredom. The emotional skill is used for the law of attraction to manifest desires, but I find it useful for emotional well-being and for improving your emotion in general. So that's the emotional skill. To simplify it and for illustration purpose, I have grouped the 22 emotions into 10 steps in my staircase here. So what is the emotional set point? The emotional set point is the emotion that you frequently hover around. So for example, you're an empath and you are constantly drained by the energy around you, your vibration will tend to be around here, feeling overwhelmed. It doesn't mean that you won't feel other emotions like jealousy or worry or contentment and hopefulness or passion. But you will find that 80% or majority of the time, your vibration is that of overwhelm, frustration, and impatience. And even if you feel hopeful for a while, you'll come back down to this level of overwhelm and frustration. Or you may feel angry or insecure for a while, but you will still go back to this level of feeling overwhelmed. That's because your emotion set point is like a magnet or a gravitation pull that keeps pulling you back to this level. So no matter how hard you try to raise your vibration, you keep coming back down. Yes, to get out of the negative vibration, you can watch a comedy, listen to music that boosts your mood, and eat delicious food. You may feel good for a little while, but soon you will have to return to the emotional set point because that is the level that you are the most comfortable with. I'll tell you how to raise your emotional set point later on, but now with this emotional skill, you can clearly see what level you are at any given moment and also determine where your emotional set point is. You can also see what's blocking you from getting to a higher vibration or what emotion you may need to pass through to get a higher vibration. If your emotional set point is in depression, fear, and insecurity, for example, you can't jump all the way up to joy, love, and freedom. You will need to pass through each step along the way. It's like how you can't jump a flight of stairs. You'll come tumbling down. For example, in the late 2015, I was feeling depressed. I was going through a dark night of the soul. Prior to that, I was actually feeling very hopeful, ready to start a new job that someone promised me in a company. But when I returned to Singapore after 1 month in Bali, the person told me that he couldn't hire me. And then I started tumbling down this emotional scale. I was pretty low on my saving, so I was feeling insecure and depressed. Every time I searched for a new job, instead of feeling hopeful, I got a panic attack. I could not go back to the level of contentment and hopefulness which I was at previously. I kept falling back to fear and depression and insecurity because it's too huge a jump for me. Instead of climbing the steps step by step, I was trying to jump back to hopefulness and contentment. And after a month of feeling depressed, I suddenly remember about this emotional skill that I have learned previously. I was feeling angry and betrayed by the person who didn't keep the promise, but I didn't allow myself to feel anger. So I kept getting stuck at this level of depression. But once I realized this, I processed my anger towards him and just expressed it in a safe environment. I recognized my worry for the future and also the disappointment I felt. The next month, my depression was almost lifted. I just felt frustrated and pessimistic about the future, like I was hovering around here. And if you watch my video on spiritual awakening previously made, you will know that within 2 months, my dark night of the soul has completely ended. And I was writing my new book and I was feeling hopeful. So this emotional skill is very important and it's very helpful. It tells you where you are stuck, which direction you are heading to. Are you climbing up the stairs or down the stairs? It can also inform you what action you can take or what tools will work for you or not in your vibrational level. So for example, when you're feeling depressed, the last thing you want to do is to think about your future. Tools like scripting and visualizing are great tools, but they are not suitable to be used when you are feeling depressed. They are more useful for those people who has a emotional set point that are at a level of hopefulness or above. When you ask someone who is depressed or pessimistic to create a future vision, the future will always look bleak, so it's not that useful. If you want to change your emotional set point and raise your vibration permanently, there are a couple of things you need to take note of. Number 1 is your belief, and number 2 is your habits. Because these two things are the main thing that keeps you at a certain vibrational level. They form the base. One very obvious contrasting example is to look at someone who is pessimistic and someone who is optimistic. So have you ever met a pessimistic person? Every time you tell them a solution, they are like, oh, it doesn't work, it's too dangerous, it's too risky, happiness doesn't last. Like they're always skeptical and pessimistic. Their belief tend to be very negative, and their belief is the reason why they are stuck at this level. In contrast, when you meet an optimistic person, they always expect things to work for them. They believe that they have control over their life and they are able to influence the outcome, so they are always taking action towards the future. The way you think about most things will inform you what your belief system is. And to raise your vibration, you have to start being aware of your thoughts and belief and start tweaking your perspective to one that is of a higher vibration. Of course, I'm not saying that you should shift your negative belief to positive belief immediately. Like everything is fine, everything is going to work out for me. That would be a too huge a jump for you. So go to something more neutral like boredom or like contentment. Instead of thinking that it doesn't work, go to something like I'm not sure whether it works or not. Boring is better vibration than pessimistic. Or alternatively, you can feel satisfied with what you have right now. Like you don't need to make a change or do something that you don't believe in. And you don't need to judge whether something is going to work or not. You just feel content with what you have right now and just be satisfied with what you have right now. So your habits are also very important. If your emotional set point is one of pessimism, you will go to social media and the news to find more information to support your belief system. Like for example, you will see news like the economy is bad, things are getting more expensive. Again, the emotional set point is a gravitational pull. So you keep pulling information and circumstances that matches your vibration. If your emotional set point is one of optimism, you will actually find more evidence that tell you that, hey, the universe is supporting me. This is a sign, that is a sign that the universe is on my side. You will not be paying too much attention to the outcome, checking your progress constantly, because this is the habit of someone who is feeling impatient. It's not the habit of someone who is feeling optimistic. So always check your thoughts, your belief system, your habits, your action. And if they don't match the vibration you desire, change them and reach for a better feeling place step by step. If you want to change your external reality, you will first need to change your internal landscape. Watch this video to see how you can do so.